السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Welcome again to دروس اللغة العربية لغير ناطقين بها. Lessons in Arabic Language Book 1 Sheikh Dr. Fa Abdul Rahim, formerly of Islamic University of Medina. Today we're looking at lesson number 9, الدرس التاسع, and then section A. We've already gone through this, so if you are catching up, you can start with the episode part one of Dars at. And this is how we write Tisa or nine in Arabic. It's just as the same nine in Loga Inglesia. Today we're looking at Tamarin. Tamarin. When we say Tamarin, we mean exercise or assignment or practicals. So we're looking at Tamreen or lesson point number الأول. Number one, اقرأ واكتب, read and write. اقرأ واكتب, read and write. So we're looking at Muhammad طالب قديم. Now there is let's look at first of all let's look at the objective here. What are the objectives? What are we trying to learn in this lesson point number one? Here the author is introducing us to about 10 adjectives in لغة العربية. So let's look at them. The first one is the word قديم. قديم. قديم, old. Old. Remember, the word قديم cannot be used to describe a human being. So basically we say material, right? Material. You can use it to describe a human being. Old. You can say an old chair. Al-Kursi, Qadim. And then the second adjective that we need to know is Jadid. That's the opposite. So basically, you can see here we are learning um, antonyms. We're learning antonyms. We're learning words and their opposites. So Jadid is new. New. And something is new is Jadid. Jadid. And then we have number three. He's going to introduce us to Sahlun. 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 Something that is easy. Easy to do or easy to say. Easy. Sahlun. And then adjective number four that you may be introduced to in this lesson point is Shahirun. 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 Famous. Shahirun. Famous. Or well known. Well known. Shahirun. Shahirun. And then another adjective that we're gonna look at is swa'bun. Swa'bun. And that is to say something that is difficult. Difficult or complex. It can be swa'bun. Swa'b. And then we have kabirun. 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 That is to say big.
What are the red lines? Where is there possible room to shift? How the war's going? What are the key problems the Russian military is facing? And also, where's the Russian military going?
Sorry if you heard some background noise. It's one of my stuff coming up. Kabirun, big. And then we're gonna learn the opposite of kabirun is saghirun, as we've already come across it. صغير. If something is صغير, is. And then we have غني. غني. If you are غني, غني means you are wealthy. You are wealthy. Right? So this is adjective number 7. We have قديم, جديد, سهل, شهير, صعب, كبير, غني. It's about 10. So I need to erase this space and then I'll write the remaining adjectives. However, like I said, all these are going to be inside the lesson point number 1, اقرأ واكتب. So as we're reading through it, take note of these adjectives and make sure you learn them, memorize them so that you can use them in your everyday Arabic. So let's look at adjective number 8. If you are not Ghanaian, you are فقير. 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 You are poor. Poor. Very poor. فقير. And then number 9, we can talk about كسلان. كسلان. You can say كسلان or كسلان. It depends. Kas, but the meaning is the same. كسلان. You can say كسلان with one dhamma, or you can say كسلان. We don't have time to go to the grammatical nitty-gritty of it, but Dr. Abdul Rahim is, using كسلان. So let's stick with it. Let's stick with it. كسلان. Lazy. Lazy. If you are not كسلان, you are مجتهد. You are مجتهد. 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 That's your hard working. You are hard working. So فقير or كسلان, lazy. مجتهد, hard working. So you can say أنا مجتهد. أنا مجتهد. I am hardworking. You can also say هو مجتهد. هو مجتهد. He is hard working. And yes, so these are the adjectives that we're going to come across in our lesson point number 1. And that is the objective of the writer here. So let's read through it. Muhammadun talibun qadimun. Muhammad is an old student. أذلك الرجل مدرس جديد. Is that man a new teacher? لا. No. هو طبيب جديد. He is a new doctor. هو طبيب جديد. Remember, هو, هو. هو is he is. It can also be used as it is if you are talking about something or a thing that is or inanimate object that is masculine singular. That is masculine singular. Huwa, huwa. If it's not huwa, then it is here. If it's not huwa, then it is here. He, he is, or it is. Both of them can be used for it. So if you're describing, let's say, baqarah, right? Baqarah. Baqaratun, a cow. You have to say here, here baqaratun. It is a cow. But if you are describing like kalbun, kalbun, then you can say huwa kalbun. Huwa kalbun. It is a dog. It is a dog. Very, very important. So let's look at number 3. Number 3. هذا هذا درس سهل. هذا درس سهل. This is an easy lesson. This is an easy lesson. هذا درس سهل. It's easy. Number 4. Abbas تاجر شهير. Abbas is a famous merchant. Abbas تاجر شهير. Abbas is a famous merchant. بلال مهندس كبير. Bilal is مهندس كبير. Bilal is a famous, is a big engineer. I'm sorry. Bilal is a big engineer. إنجليزية, the English language. لغة صعبة. The English language is a very difficult language. Now, something very interesting here. لغة لغة سهلة. لغة صعبة. Remember in the last lesson I said adjectives in Arabic have some features. You need to note them. In Arabic, adjectives they have genders. So we can have masculine adjectives, and then we can have feminine adjectives. And most of the time, you can turn a masculine adjective to a feminine adjective by adding, remember, تاء مربوطة. تاء التانيث مربوطة. So if you pick سهل, سهل, that is masculine. So you want to make it feminine, you just have to add the تاء مربوطة. Then you have سهلة. If you have كبير, you want to make it feminine, you have to say كبيرة. كبيرة. You add the تاء مربوطة أو التانيث المربوطة to it. And then if you have فقير, فقير, then you have to say فقيرة. فقيرة. So you can say هو سهل, هي سهلة, هي كبيرة, هي فقيرة. هو سهل, هو كبير, هو فقير. So you can flip these adjectives from masculine to feminine. So this is also it's very important to note that adjectives by default in Arabic, adjectives by default in Arabic are, are masculine by default, unless you are told otherwise. So you have to flip it to feminine if you are describing a feminine object. And then you need to also know that Arabic adjectives have numbers, right? They can come in numbers. We can have singular, dual, and plural. So you can have the plural of sahlun, you can have the plural of kabirun, you can have the plural of fakirun. And this is going to come up later in the book. And you also need to know that there is matching, right? Number 3, they must have matching or congruity. Matching is a noun, if a noun, if the noun that you're talking about is singular, if the noun you're talking about is singular, then the adjective must be singular. So if noun is singular, then the adjective must be singular, and vice versa. So we can also say plural noun must take plural adjective. And then dual noun must take dual adjective. So it's always matching. If the adjective, if the noun is masculine, adjective must be masculine. If adjective is feminine, If noun is feminine, adjective must be feminine, and on and on and on. So there's matching. If the adjective, if a noun is definite, I'm sorry. If the noun is definite, then adjective must be definite. If if a noun is indefinite, if a noun is indefinite, then adjective must also be indefinite, and on and on. For instance, if the noun has al, then the adjective must have al. If the noun doesn't have al, then the adjective too must not have al. So you can see that in our exercise, in our reading here, all the adjective, all the nouns are without al, like mudarrisun, jadidun, darsun, sahlun. So this is indefinite, indefinite. Muhandisun, kabirun, rajulun, ganiyun. In the next lesson, we'll be looking at a situation where the adjective is definite. How do you deal with the noun? The noun too must be definite. Very, very important to note in this lesson, and that is practically what the author is trying to teach us. So let's move on. So you can see that Ingilizia, the English language, it has a ta. That's an indicative of feminine, and then logaton, that's also ta, indicative of feminine, and then we have sa'abaton. So there's a match here. Feminine, feminine, feminine. Very, very important. Let's look at number 7. Anta rajulun gani? Are you a rich man? Anta rajulun ganiyun? Are you a wealthy person or a wealthy man or rich man? That's a question. La. The person says no. Ana rajulun faqirun. Ana rajulun faqir. I am a poor man. So the opposite of ganiyun is what? Faqirun. Allahu ghaniyun. Allahu ghaniyun. Allah is wealthy or Allah is self-sufficient. So ana rajulun faqirun. Let's look at the number 8, Al-Qahira, Cairo. Cairo is the capital city of Egypt, as we all know. Al-Qahiratu madinatun kabiratun. So you see that here there's matching completely. Qahiratu is an indication of feminine. Madinatun, feminine. Kabiratun, feminine. So the noun that the kabirun is describing, Madinatun, is feminine. So therefore, the adjective must be feminine. Al-Qahiratu Madinatun Kabiratun. Al-Qahiratu Madinatun Kabiratun. Let's look at number 9. That is التاسع. أأنت مدرس قديم؟ أأنت أأنت مدرس قديم? Are you an old teacher? Somebody is asking, are you an old teacher? And the person says, لا, no, لا, no. أنا مدرس جديد. I am a new teacher. So here they say a word in the opposite here. قديم is old, مدرس. Now here, the قديم is describing the type, the position. It's not the person. All right. Yeah. Mudarrisun, because this is a title. It's not, it's, it's a title for a human being. So it's not the human being itself. Okay. So we need to be very careful when we're using the word قديم. لا أنا مدرس جديد. أحامد أحامد طالب كسلان طالب كسلان. We've already looked at كسلان, lazy. Is Hamid a lazy student? لا, no. هو طالب مجتهد. He is طالب مجتهد. He is a hardworking student. So here we go. So we have encountered so many adjectives as I enumerated. You have to learn them in قديم, جديد, سهل, كبير, غني, um, شهير, صعبة, فقير, We've already come across قديم and then جديد, مجتهد, كسلان, كسلان. So these are very interesting. So you have to just read and write. Now, this is an assignment. Before we do it, let's get some info. Let's call it grammar info. Let's get grammar info. Our grammar info is adjective in Arabic and the noun that it describes, right? So in لغة العربية, the adjective is called na'atun. So you need that's your grammar info. Na na'atun, an adjective. So if we say adjective in Arabic, we call it na'atun. So you need to also know noon, ain, and then ta, na'atun. And then what about the noun that the adjective is describing? We call it man'ut, 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 man'utun. So this is meme, and then noon, and then ain, and then wa, mad, and then ta, man'utun. So if you say a good boy in English, in Arabic, the word good here is called na'at, because that's the adjective. And then the boy is the man'ut. That's the one being described as being good. So you need to pay attention. But look at the arrangement. You see that in Arabic, the na'at, the adjective comes first. And then the noun that the adjective is describing comes second by arrangement. But in Arabic, it's vice versa. It moves this way, right? It moves that way. So for instance, if I have a sentence like قلم قلم كبير قلم كبير. Now, which one is the na'at? Which one is the man'ut? This is the na'at. This is the na'at. And this is the man'ut. That is the man'ut. So this is the adjective and this is the noun. So this is the grammar info. So you need to know this. Na'at wa man'ut. Na'at wa man'ut. Na'at wa man'ut. So or man'utun wa na'at. Or if you want, sing with it. Man'utun wa na'at. Two brothers, siblings, man'utun wa na'at. So man'utun first and always a na'at. But English is the opposite. So in this exercise assignment, ضع means put في الفراغ في الجمل الآتية نعتا مناسبا. That put in these blank spaces down here نعتا مناسبا. The word مناسب, مناسب, مناسب means proper, something that is proper or something that is fitting. So put a fitting نعتا. Put a fitting نعتا. So you have خديجة طالبة. Khadija is a student. What kind of student? So describe Khadija. So what kind of student? Is she old student or new student? Remember Khadija and Talib. Khadija is a feminine. Taliba too feminine. So let's say I'll put Jadidat on here. So that is my nat, right? Khalidu, Tajirun, I would say Ghaniyun. Ghaniyun. So don't go far. Remember the 10 adjectives we just learned? Yeah. Some of them can fit here. They can fit. So you don't have to go far away. So you have Al-Arabiyatu, the Arabic language is a language what? What kind of language is it? Put something here. Adjective. At-tufahu fakihatun. Remember fakihatun. We can say fruit. Some Arabic people are saying fakiha is vegetable. Even in English, it's very difficult to differentiate what is between what is vegetable and fruit. A lot of people have different opinions. And sometimes when you pick up, let's say, tomato, and you say, is tomato a vegetable or fruit, you have so many different opinions as to whether tomato is a fruit or it's a vegetable. Sometimes I don't know where even the line ends. So sometimes fakiha can be fruit, and sometimes it can be vegetable. But there's another word for vegetable in Arabic, but we're not gonna talk about that now. Ana mudarrisun. I am a teacher. What kind of teacher are you? Are you a lazy teacher, or I can say ana mudarrisun jadidun, right? Ana mudarrisun jadidun. I'm a new teacher. So that remember the 10 adjectives that we just discussed. Remember we discussed qadimun, we discussed kaslanun, we discussed jadidun. These are all adjectives. We discussed faqirun, we discussed ghaniyun, and then we discussed mujtahidun, we discussed that, and then we discussed what's the other adjective? Sa'bun. Remember that? We discussed sa'bun. And then number 8, we discussed, we've already talked about kaslan. And then I think there was kabirun, big. And then number 9, I think we discussed sahlun, something that is easy. And then number 10, I think we discussed shahirun, famous. Shahirun. So these are the adjectives that can fit here. So pick your choice. Muhammadun tabibun. Muhammad is a doctor. Anta talib. Usfur ta'irun. The sparrow is a bird. What kind of bird? Inglesia luga. English language is Al-Qahira to Medina. Cairo is a city. What kind of city? Pick some of these adjectives. Remember, so the first assignment here, you putting in an adjective, and then the second one, um, you looking at. So I think we've done enough. Let's learn it here, inshallah. Next time we meet, we're going to continue from lesson point number 3. دمتم بخير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Thank you so much for your time. May Allah bless you with it.